one of the major sponsors of the podcast is Back to Basics Putting. They developed the Pro Path putting mirror, Richard Woodhouse and Grant Field. Has a 15-degree putting arc on it. It's an absolute gem of a mirror. I use it every day in every putting lesson I do have. Harrison Endicott, previous guest on, actually has one himself, which was pretty cool. Can you give us, in the Back to Basics putting segment, can you give us your number one kind of tip or go-to thing that you do for putting?
I would say use the Back to Basics putting mirror.
No, that's not the purpose of it.
Mine actually got stolen, and are they for sale at the moment? Because I've been trying to get one, and they've been sold out for a while. So if you're listening to this, I'm happy to pay full price, but I need to get my hands on one. I think they're great. I actually went to the US Open this year, and one of the coolest things was seeing Cam Smith on the putting green, and what he does is he actually goes from all sides of the hole. He's trying to get his eyesight in for right to left to right, uphill, downhill, and once he does that, he's good to go. So, in my opinion, starting the ball online is number one. If there's a pyramid, that is number one. So, after you use your back to basics putting mirror and you feel like you can start the ball online, I would probably start adding in some random practice. I saw Brad Faxon do just a really simple one the other day, sort of like your old 12-point drill, and it was 4 foot, 6 foot, 8 foot. 4-footers and 6-footers are for par, 8-footers are for birdie. And for, a good player, they're trying to shoot under par. So if you go 12 putts, 4, 6, 8, if you hole all those, you get a chance to shoot under par. If you miss one, you're one over. So it's a good way of just adding a little bit of pressure. I've
never heard that. That's really cool. So you're 4 and 6 footers of a par and the 8 footers for birdie. So if you listen to that, if you have a little bit of failure around that 4 footer, you've made a bogey, but you can get that back when you get around to the 8 footers, right?
Yes, correct. So it's just a really good way of sort of balancing. If you set up a little station of like, okay, you do your drill work, and if you're struggling with your stroke, spend some time on the mirror. If you feel like you're rolling it online, then go more to your random practice, simulate what you're going to do on the golf course. So yeah, keep it simple and don't have to overthink putting.
I really like that one there with Brad Fax. I think that's a really cool way, because a lot of the putting ones that I use there, Ollie, it might go to failure, then stop and start again. So what I like about that is it's kind of like you're beating against bogey as well. So if you just made a bogey in the last, we're not resetting it. We're kind of like, how are we going to get that back? Well, let's get back in the grind. Let's make sure we don't drop another one. Let's try and get one back. I think that's a really good tip there. Mate, thanks. So that brings us to the end of the Back to Basics putting segment. Support the people who support the Golf Coach podcast. TM15 for 15% discount below.